Okay, recording is now live.
Yay, we are recording.
That is working. That is working.
Give me a beat, Dan. Come on, give me a beat.
You need a beat.
Give me a beat. Come on.
I'm gonna throw you. I mean, I don't know what's working here.
We're bringing it back. We're restoring the feeling. You know what I'm saying? Real rap raw. You know what I'm talking about? Come on now.
Here you go. Here you go. Finna loop this. Let's go.
Is this supposed to be grime? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. P-double-E.
What is this?
What is it? What's in your Serato there? What is happening with your Serato right now?
I'm using virtual DJ and I'm using the loops that are in here.
Just give me a proper beat.
What else we got here? Okay, let's go.
Chilling with Dan. He's not the man. I scan the room. My mic frames go boom. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
What are you saying? This is fire, man.
2BT on the dome. We are here in his home, recording a whole new sound. We're about to break it down.
Damn. I say damn. You guys are clowns. Okay, Philip.
Don't frown.
These people have been waiting for us for a long time.
And you know my ears pink and my hole
Brown.
Oh.
I want to tell you a story before we start, Phil. Today, I flew in this afternoon from a conference I was in Big Falls. On the flight, the flight attendant, stewardess, air hostess says, "My colleague tells me that you have a podcast."
Oh, where?
So I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Was this fast yet?
No, it was Airism.
What? We are big. We are big in these streets.
When
man.
you're big, you're big.
You know,
what I'm saying?
I knew we were known in the fast jet streets. Now we're in the Airism streets too, yo.
So then I'm like, "Oh, which colleague?" Then she points out the colleague, and it's look, I didn't expect that you would be in our target market, but you're welcome, madam.
Wait, describe this person.
She seemed a little bit older, and that's fine. That's okay, I just had a moment of, oh, okay, cool. Welcome, madam. Thank you very much for spreading the good word of Two Broke Twimbos. So then she was like, okay, tell me about this podcast. So I took her phone. I went to the podcast app, subscribed to Two Broke Twimbos. So she's like, I'm going to listen to your next episode.
You should have made her leave a 5-star review as well.
Yes, yeah, I should have. But there were people waiting with their bags and whatever.
This wasn't disembarking.
Yes, this is during
wild behavior. This is wild behavior.
So my worry is that this is her first time listening to the pod. She's like, no, my colleague just put me on. I met one of the hosts. I subscribed. Let me see what this podcast is about.
And it's just immediate click. No, that's even worse. Yo, I just realized, like we've got parents that listen to this podcast with their kids in the car.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So look,
Crims censored that part. Yeah.
I keep trying to tell you every episode, Phil.
No, but that's what Crims is there for. I feel so bad because like one of them was calling me for some business stuff, and then the funny thing is like, in fact, shout out to Titi. So she calls and she's like, "Oh, Phil, by the way, before we get down to business," and then she gives the phone to the son. It's like, Uncle Phil.
Yeah, look. So, long story short, we appreciate all of you who are listening to this podcast. And if you are listening, if you would like to play this instead of the safety announcement in the flight, please, everyone, wear your seatbelts. And I think, you know what to do at this point.
If the plane goes down, don't even bother. You're all dying. You know what I mean? It might float. You might become flotation device. Yeah, your life jacket is going to light up and whistle, beep, whatever. But anyway, it's late, bruh.
Which Airism flight is going to float, Phil? Which ocean is it flying over?
It's the Kariba. Duh. The Zambezi. Duh. Okay. The Limpopo. Duh.
We missed. Did we miss 2 weeks? A week.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks, I think.
We missed 2-ish.
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry, guys.
Meanwhile, yeah, it has been 2 weeks because the notices were 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah, things are happening. Like alarm bells are ringing in my head. I'm actually doing my best to stay away from panic attack right now, Dan. I'm very anxious. I'm very anxious about what we've discovered. So yeah, but for all our patrons, you might get a notice redirecting you to another platform. Don't be alarmed.
The beauty of growing our own community, Phil, is we are not beholden to any platform. Our community will go with us where we need to go.
No, but some people got charged.
Look, guys, you'll have to charge it to the game. You know what I mean? Sorry, guys. There's something going on with our Patreon. We will figure it out. But anyway, let's get it started, Phil. People are here to listen to another classic episode of the podcast. So I have to ask, are y'all
good to go?
I said, are y'all
Good to go.
Sound a big thing now.
Get mad now.
Let me hear a drum play. Freestyle. Listeners, this is how we start the podcast. You listeners, this is how we start the podcast. Rapping on beat.
right?
Ooh, the verses. I need to put that in talking points.
Welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast. This is Two Broke Twimbos. My name is Danny That Guy, aka Danos the Mad Titan, aka Denias Wekumaraini, aka Denford Wekumaraini, Denias, aka Denimbi, my life, your entertainment, aka I'm done with these streets. Let the power cut one more time. We're firing the head of Zinwa. We're fire someone from national parks.
They're playing with us right now, man. They think we're a game.
Doesn't matter where you at, we firing you.
Firing on you like a missile, bruh.
Doesn't matter what you do, you get
no
fired.
Ceasefire here, dog. No ceasefire here. We don't
call us
BB because we don't adhere to no ceasefire.
I don't know if we should be going down that.
Huh? I know, but shout out to BB, man. BB was
He's nothing if not consistent. So
you know what I laughed? Like when they announced that last ceasefire, and you might be asking because they announced and violate ceasefire so often. There might be another 2 or 3 before this episode is even out.
Yeah.
People were celebrating. People even went to Middle East tours. I know I'm celebrating. Before the plane landed in the Middle East, my man was firing.
That situation over that side is.
So you know what? Once again, we've answered that original question. What were people doing when Hitler was Hitlering? Clearly nothing. And there was no social media back then, so it was even wild.
I mean, what are people supposed to do?
I mean, at the very least, they could, like, if they were owners of a fashion brand that's made its name by making dupes of existing fashion pieces, maybe not post a brand logo that looks eerily similar to the Israeli flag.
It's
maybe.
Greek colors, Phil. It's Greek.
It's a beach towel.
It's Greek colors.
I mean, how could you not see that and think beach towel? Duh.
See, the sad thing is like the majority of our listeners have no idea what we're referring to. But if you know, you know. If not, look, let's move on swiftly. Moving along swiftly.
Yes.
Let's.
I didn't even introduce myself. Did you introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Please go ahead.
That's right. The unpredictable, the unpredictable, the irrefutable, the unquestionable, the undeniable, the you will not turn off my lights. Turn off the lights again, baby. Extra brighter when you see it. So Charlie get Frost, the big boss, we get pizza, pig, sense in the low, we get filthy Phil on Musk, and of course, Shabari Tengro drink. Hello, guys. How are you?
Let's start off the podcast by celebrating some Zimbabweans doing big things. I want to give a big shout out to none other than Chido Maenzanise. Now, you may not be familiar with that name, but this is Africa's strongest woman.
Nice.
She won gold at the East Rand Strongest Woman competition.
Look at those thighs.
I know, that's...
she could pick me up.
You pick both of us up
Why
at the
are you
same
scrolling
time.
past the photo so quickly, Dan? Let me...
I can read what the story says.
I'm trying to bask in this woman's lusciousness, bruh.
Hey, you can see the muscles, yeah?
This is my spec. Spec out with that.
The story is she now has 28 medals. Really, Phil?
Spec
The story I'm reading says it was a tightly contested competition that was held over the weekend in South Africa. And Zimbabwe's 30-year-old strongest woman triumphed in the 2-day competition. Now she has 28 medals, and she is ranked as 21st strongest woman in the world. So yeah, shout
It's
out.
okay. Chirungu came on a boat.
Yeah. Also, this would not normally qualify as Zimbabweans doing it big, because it's just normal business. But I thought it's important to spread positivity in the world, Phil. There is an all-women concert,
Oh yes.
Nubian Notes,
Mhm.
that is being lined up for later on in the month. It's Feli Nandi, Gemma Griffiths, Tammy Moyo, and it's 4 people. Why do I only have 3 here?
And Shashel.
And Shashel.
Mhm.
Is it Shashel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Shashel. Yeah,
Shout out to Connie for putting it together.
Yeah. Shout out to Connie. I know I owe you something, Connie. I got you. But yeah, shout out to the ladies coming together. The reason why I wanted to mention it is because I saw some vitriol, some vile discussion points about women doing things in the industry, and it was being kikikied and celebrated. And I was like, come on, man, we could do better than this. What? This is a dope show. It's a solid lineup with people who have incredible fans. I have every belief that they will have a successful show. Shout out to you, team Feli Nandi, Gemma Griffiths, Tammy Moyo, Shashel, Nubian Notes, coming up soon. Just gonna get the exact dates so we can say it. I hadn't prepared that part. Crims.
November 8th. The date is November 8th.
November 8th.
At the HICC.
November 8th, HRCC, Nubian Notes with our queens doing their thing. Shout out to y'all. And yeah. Okay. Lots of things to talk about, Phil. Let me get this one quickly out of the way so that we can talk about the other things. But those of you who follow Zimbabwean sport would probably be aware that we currently do not have a football coach for our national team.
Why is that, Dan?
That's because Michael Nees was unceremoniously relieved of his duties after a terrible run of form.
I believe we were totally winless in our qualifiers, weren't we?
Yes. In fact, I think people mentioned that I think it was out of 13 games or something like that. There was a bunch of draws, a couple of losses, and 1 win.
So I got bees knees and uninstalled Gage.
Gage. It's been sweet. Oh, so sweet.
It's okay. We still have trophies, Dad. Did you see that?
No, it's okay.
I was laughing. Did you see your guys' collaboration? Your club's collaboration with Stanley Cups went live. So Arsenal have a custom Stanley Cup, and all the comments were like, the supporters have resorted to buying their own cups.
I really can't wait. I can't wait.
Dan, it's okay. We've won.
Yeah, no, cool.
We've won.
Yeah. It's okay.
In 2028, if we were still having this conversation, then I'll be worried. But right now, I'm okay. We've won.
Anyway, so Zimbabwe is currently looking for a national team coach. Apparently, the ZIFA, or Zimbabwe Football Association, ZIFA, put out a tender notice out into the world.
Invitation for tender.
Yes, invitation for tender.
Was Praz involved?
No, I believe Wignell was rejected. But ZIFA have said that over 300 applications have been received.
Oh, wait, I got to derail you because this is my job, but also it's hilarious. Can you imagine if we get like, okay, let's not mention names because you'll bring them up, but like a Premier League coach, someone who's pedigree, who's coached in the Premier League, won cups, maybe coached a few top-ranking international sides, and then first day on the job, he gets called to Exquisite Motors. Go see Victor. and there's like a giant brick of cash. He's like, wait a minute, guy, I don't think I'm allowed to touch this.
Well, the story is, okay, there's been lots of rumors about who are in the midst of those 300 applications. ZBC News are reporting that Chris Hughton, former Tottenham and...
Wait, are these inbound applications? So Chris
Yes. Chris Hughton allegedly, according to ZBC, applied. Former Tottenham Hotspur and Norwich City manager Chris Hughton applied.
Very discreet.
Do you remember this guy? If you look at his face.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Yes. Very discreet.
Yeah. 66 years old. He's managed Tottenham, Newcastle, Norwich City. Apparently he managed Ghana 2 years ago.
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
The story is that...
And apparently he lives in Arcadia.
he looks like he could. So yeah, that's one of them. It's apparently going to be a pretty high profile gig because Zimbabwe is going to be playing in the Africa Cup of Nations at the end of the year. So, it's relatively high profile.
Should we throw our hats in the ring?
Yes, absolutely, Phil. I mean,
do you have your FIFA Pro?
According to my football manager account from 13 years ago.
Actually, don't we know someone with a FIFA Pro accreditation?
Who do we know with a FIFA?
So don't Barry and them have FIFA Pro accreditation?
They probably do.
I think they do,
but they don't have the chops. You need a solid amount of experience behind you there, and these guys are too young. They cannot be they cannot be Artetas. Who knows? Anyway, so maybe we'll have Chris Hughton. Maybe other places were talking about Avram Grant. Who's the other one that I saw mentioned? And I was like, guys, can we also be serious? We can't afford a Brendan Rodgers. Can you be realistic?
Also, did you ever watch the was it on Fox? I believe it was on Fox. When Brendan Rodgers was coaching Liverpool, the reality show that they did.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it was gold.
Okay, Phil, realistically, okay, come on. Now that I think about it, this is a 2-month stint. We could afford it. Imagine Scott and Wicknell get together and meter each. And we offer, listen, 2 mil, let's go. 2-month stint.
They can't do that, Dan. Why would you put this on microphone, Dan? You know FIFA are listening. They are keenly.
These things. First of all, as we all know, FIFA is a bastion of clean operations, integrity.
How dare you? How dare you insinuate otherwise?
Absolutely no corruption happening within FIFA.
Of course, Qatar was clean.
Meter. You send it to Giovanni, whatever his name is. Anyway, point is, we could afford him for 2 months. Brendan Rodgers, cheeky punt. Didn't he just lose his job?
What was it?
He was managing Celtic. No. Imagine Zimbabwe managed by Brendan Rodgers, former Liverpool manager.
Isn't he more of a former Fulham manager? I think on his CV, I think Fulham go come first, don't they?
Yeah. Anyway, and since you brought it up, there's an element of football I'm not enjoying. Like, football banter is fun. Banter is fun. Ha ha ha, banter. Arsenal don't have any recent trophies. Yeah, you're right. We got to hold that until we win some trophies. It is what it is. Ha, Liverpool on a run of bad form. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, y'all got to hold it. It is what it is. Banter is part of the game. But there's like a level that it's reached. I used to go, I have a Finsta for my Twitter. A Fitter. A Fix. Whatever it is. Which is purely football. It's purely football. Only follows football accounts, interacts with football.
That is troll football. We solved the mystery, guys. We solved the mystery.
United Trade, no. And I sometimes, when I feel like social media is too toxic, I like to go in there because it's all football talk. Yes, there's banter, but it's like jokes and football. Like right now, that's worse than normal social media. Yo, people are insane. Like the insults have reached another level. And I think everyone needs to calm down. It's a game. We're all having fun. Banter is all well and good, but yeah. So now I need to create a new one. I've been interested in the chives community, Phil. Apparently, the cooking community on Reddit. There's a trending subreddit of chive cutting. It's one guy who's posted every day. He's trying to cut chives perfectly, and he's allowing the community to judge his cutting abilities. And he's been posting for, I think he's like on his 16th or 17th day. And people keep pointing out, look at how uneven these chives are. I was like, okay, day 3, I'm going to go again. And then people are zooming in and outlining the different chive. And I'm like, you know what? That's the community I'm going to join.
And people say when you get married, you become washed. How dare they? How dare they?
Okay, there's things to talk about, Phil. What shall we talk about?
Now I'm looking up this chives community. I need to see what's going on.
You see, it's interesting.
No, it's not interesting. I'm fascinated by how washed this community must be.
If you just go to chives community,
so it's subreddit chives.
No, don't search on. It's subreddit. It's a food subreddit, and then there's a chives post that's trending. Let me actually just show you here on. Oh.
Yeah, see? I found him. Kitchen Confidential.
Yes, Kitchen Confidential. That's it. See, it's even a news item on X.
Wait, what? Dude, okay. Wait, I'm so confused. How are these uneven? Like, how do you even tell? What's going on?
That's the thing. It's like people are like, that looks like really good chives. Cut really well. And then people are zooming in. So apparently it's a trending thing. If you just search on Twitter. There, you're welcome, guys. I am on a mission to find.
These are very uneven. These are incredibly uneven. This is.
Look at Phil pretending like he wasn't interested in the chive community.
No, I'm just commenting on what I'm seeing. I'm just like,
that's the whole point.
Up.
Anyway, guys, can we just go back to banter? This whole thing of oh my God, now we're going to be exposing you. What? I mean, like it's gone far enough. And I honestly think it's because of Liverpool fans, and I get it. It's because you're on a short run of bad form, and it's okay. You've been winning for a while. Relax, guys. Relax.
I like amen, right, Ken? Give me an amen. Amen.
This past week, the president of our grand nation was delivering the State of the Nation address. In the middle of his State of the Nation, the power went out. As you can imagine, that's embarrassing. Someone had to light a torch, a flashlight, and
Why are you looking at me like that? I was giving you like a bed.
It was just really loud. I couldn't.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it was like right in my. It was in my ear there. I couldn't think. Anyway, the point is, the power went during his State of the Nation address. Hey, it happened to Cyril the other time, right? Thing is, it's now 2 years in a row. It's like we're like that guy who's gonna cut his hair if Manchester United wins 5 games in a row. We've got a streak going. I believe there was threats made afterwards, and the managing director of Zesa Holdings was fired, or at least was put on suspension without pay with pay pending an investigation. Look, this is not normally the kind of thing we talk about on this podcast, but it was a pretty trending and funny situation. And when I was thinking, how are we going to talk about this? The obvious thing to say is, that seems unfair. Why would you fire the CEO or rather the managing director of Zesa when...
Also ZDTDC,
when the problem is that apparently the generator didn't connect or something.
Yeah, but why do you need a generator? Huh? It's your failings. Why isn't there a solar plant in Gwanda? It's your fault.
Anyway, this is what I thought was interesting about this story, Phil. And hear me out. I think that many of our leaders have not yet accepted, some have, and they're clearly very good at it, but many of them have not yet accepted that media landscape has changed. You cannot control the narrative anymore because of social media. And whereas in the past, what might have happened, imagine this had happened 15 years ago, Phil. Live State of the Nation address, power goes out. We all see it on TV. The next day, it's a headline in the newspaper. Zesa boss fired because of the State of the Nation address. It looks like a clean, simple, linear. I mean, a couple of columns and discussions might happen in the media here and there. But in general, the narrative is there was an address. There was a Zesa failing. The person ultimately responsible was fired. It's been dealt with. We move. But obviously, things have changed. In real time, there's minute details about every single thing that's happened. You can no longer have that narrative, that clean narrative that explains everything. At this point, firing the ZDTDCC MD is nothing more than a footnote in the overall story. In fact, most people seem to be responding to it with why. We all know that the reason was because of some generator situation. Also, I don't run the country, but I can have electricity on for 2 hours at an important point in the day. Like I can.
So
I can make that happen.
Why are we talking about this, guy?
So I don't want to talk about...
Let's move on there. Let's move on to other topics.
Very briefly, what I want to say...
I've got my theories. They will not be discussed on a microphone. That's for sure.
Fair enough. Ultimately, before we move on, what I want to say is, I know some of your children are listening. Things have changed, yo. Narratives are a lot more difficult to control. You,
fluid.
yeah, no. Social media, it just is what it is. Once the cat's out of the bag, it's out of the bag, eh? Yeah. Okay, moving on. I see, Phil, here you have the Zimbabwe AI strategy.
I would invite him. Have you read it?
Let me tell you my history with the Zimbabwe artificial intelligence strategy. As you know, Phil, I do a technology show on radio.
What's it called, Dad?
It's called the Africa Tech Kin.
Oh, wow.
Indeed.
Where can I tune into this program?
You may listen to it on radio every Tuesday evening, straight after the news at 7. However, it is far better to subscribe to the ZFM Stereo podcasts or look for ZFM Stereo's YouTube, where you can watch my mug talking about technology.
Wow, Dan, thank you for that.
Anyway, when the news came out that literally the day of recording, the news came out. So I had to quickly insert it into it came out at after the briefing, at the post-cabinet briefing on the Tuesday. And the news was that cabinet had finally approved Zimbabwe's national artificial intelligence strategy, which had been on the table for a long time. Now that it's been approved by cabinet, then it can start getting implemented, et cetera, et cetera. So I had a very brief overview as announced by the information minister, Dr. Jenfan Muswere, as he announced the key parts of this AI strategy.
I know he was knee deep in this. This is his spiel.
Yeah, so I mean, I briefly spoke about it on the show, and I was like, listen, this has just been announced. I'm going to be digging into it and try to find more information. The next day, I was emceeing a conference at which the Minister of Information was present. So, I got to say, congratulations, Minister. Welcome, of course, our honorable guest of honor. Congratulations yesterday on the approval of your artificial intelligence strategy. So she then went up onto the platform and she was very, very effusive. Is that a word? Yeah. In her description of, we finally got this approved. So now Zimbabwe is one of 13 countries in Africa that has an official artificial intelligence strategy. So, shout out to us. Was it 13 or 16? I can't remember. Point is, a lot of the noise was, well done to us. We have this artificial intelligence strategy. The information I had was what was mentioned by the information minister, which essentially was an overview of, we're going to train people, we're going to provide a data center, we're going to provide data from the government records so that they can be used to train models, and we're going to try and encourage innovation by providing grants to people who are working in the field of AI. So it was very overviewish without any details. So I hadn't actually come across it in detail yet, and I haven't had a chance to sit down. I believe you have read it, Phil.
No. I thought you had.
No, I have not.
This is a terrible group project. Okay, let's punt it for next week. All
right. I shall read it now that the document
We'll also share it with the patrons. Maybe not we'll do. Let's outsource this to our patrons.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll read it for us and give us the key points.
Give us the do you trust them to give us the real points?
Well, it's either them or the LLM. Who lies more?
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, we'll be paying attention. As your tech ombudsman, we'll tell you what our official position is as a country.
Your tech on busy men, because we've been so busy.
I thought you said because you can bid for us to tell you what you want us to say.
Oh yes, I couldn't get listening.
Here's an interesting story that we spoke about. Did we talk about this in the Patreon group? Or maybe I just saw it on Twitter.
You know, it'd be wild.
What would be wild?
I was gonna say we should run our AI strategy through an AI detector tool.
Phil, obviously, I mean, come on, be realistic. These are some things need to be realistic. Obviously, AI tools are being used everywhere. It is what it is. Anyway, so there's a story that came out this past week from Reuters, the Reuters Institute. Now, I pay a lot of attention to the Reuters Institute, and that is because they monitor media. And as you know, I'm very, very plugged into media. In fact, I use a lot of their research in presentations, proposals, etc., etc. So they put out a report this past week, which was essentially about they were looking at how people in certain territories or how they get their news and how they're influenced by news media. So there was this report focused on South Africa. and it showed that 39% of audiences pay attention to influencers and news creators for news versus 38% who pay attention to traditional news brands. So for the first time in South Africa, influencers overtook traditional news as a news source, according to the research that they had done. Then they listed the top influencers. At the top, MacG.
Trusted news source, verifies his information all the time. Makes sense.
Also listed.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, okay.
Wait. So MacG is number one. Hold on. I'm working through this.
Are you looking to guess?
No.
You'll be so disappointed.
I know. I'm scared to say it, but because MacG is number one.
Yep.
Phil does. It's either Musa Kalua or Chris Excel.
Chris Excel. Chris Excel is actually number 3.
Wait, so who's number 2?
Elon Musk.
Oh, okay. Oh, I actually saw a report.
If you want to see the list, here it is.
I actually saw a full report that like Elon Musk has over-indexed himself to become the most vocal person on Twitter. And it's not even close.
Oh no! Did he buy a platform?
So MacG number 1, Elon 2, Chris Excel 3, Trevor Noah's 4, bruh. Dylan Page,
aka News Daddy.
I don't know what that is.
Somizi number 6.
So Mizi's giving news. Somizi.
Then there's several like international people like
Guys,
Donald Trump. That's so funny.
Guys,
Fabrizio Romano.
The first actual journalist on this list is an Italian soccer journalist, bruh. He's not even a journalist. He just reports on transfers.
Musa Kaula, who you mentioned, is number 11.
South Africa is cooked.
Then you've got Julius Malema, Cyril Ramaphosa,
South Africa is cooked.
Andrew Tate, Bonang, etc.
There's not even one real journalist on this list, bruh. There's not even Dan Corder or nothing.
So apparently these are the people that or rather they've been listed as where do you get your news from? And this is what they said according to the Reuters Institute.
Getting news from a catfish account is wild.
I can't believe Chris Excel is number 3. And then I think the list expands if you go into the data and so on. And then there was like man's not Barry Roo and whatever. Well, in fact, here he is mentioned here.
That account still exists?
Yeah. It's actually mentioned here. There, I don't remember where I saw it. Yeah.
I thought that Barry Roo account could ban Kutara.
No, still exists.
Yo.
So this was a very depressing story to read because the question was, where do you get your news? And then people listed where they got their news. So then they were not. So that rating that we gave you was the number of times each name was listed.
Uh-huh.
So if you're telling me most people said I get my news from MacG, that's mad. Because to be fair, MacG's podcast is, what was in the news this week? This happened, that happened, that happened, and then a discussion about it. So I guess people are like, the reason I know this happened this week is because MacG said it on his podcast. Mm-hmm. Chris Excel, like, I even feel dirty just saying that name on this podcast.
Yo, what's the name of that poor girl that had her identity stolen by Chris Excel?
Nah, you see, that's the sad thing. I don't even know her name.
I don't know. There was a time she was losing jobs because of that dude.
Yep. So clearly, we have a problem. Our youths are cooked, and by the way, I told you that I was at a conference. That was one of the main themes of the conference. I was at a broadcast conference, and one of the main themes of discussion was the fact that younger audiences are getting primary news from social media as opposed to traditional media. So like, how do we discuss it? How do we deal with this, et cetera, which is a problem because the people on social, it would be one thing if journalists or people who are collecting news are putting it out on social media and that's where they're getting it. So our discussion is, no, audiences have gone there. Oh no. But the discussion is you're getting your news from people who are not even journalists, are not even tied to journalism in any way. To be fair, MacG is a former radio presenter. So, I mean, there's closeness.
Okay, I know.
There's a proximity.
I know as a radio presenter, you want to defend your kind, but you are not journalists.
What is a journalist, Phil? How do you define a journalist?
Someone that actually breaks stories.
So,
not a reporter, a journalist. There's a difference. There's a difference between a reporter and a journalist.
Here's my follow. So if your definition is breaking stories, the concept of breaking stories probably doesn't exist as much anymore because majority of stories are broken on social media by citizen journalists, air quotes. A journalist is someone who finds news. A journalist is someone who, and
believe you. I'm asking.
you know you have to hold the microphone. I know you.
Oh,
don't
sorry.
have
I'm used to it just being by my mouth. Sorry,
Yeah,
Dan doesn't have a mic stand. Please help us buy a mic stand
have my mic stand. I don't know why you didn't come with your mic stand.
from the office.
Yeah, it's a Thursday. You should have known and carried it with you.
What is a journalist? What is a journalist?
A gender is a social and cultural construct that refers to the role.
Wow, woke chat GPT, huh?
What is a journalist?
A journalist is someone who investigates, collects, and reports information on current events, issues, and stories for media outlets like newspapers, magazines, websites, TV, and radio. They play a crucial role in informing the public, holding power to account, and providing analysis and context.
Can a journalist who talks about the smelling of private parts, can a podcaster who reports on smelly private parts be a journalist?
That's definitely a unique topic. In a broad sense, yes, a podcaster can be considered a journalist.
Why?
Into the microphone.
Have you noticed how they changed how she talks now?
I literally haven't used the talking feature. I don't know, Phil. You're building a parasocial relationship here, man.
Don't you dare speak about my baby.
Yeah.
Don't you dare speak about it.
You think you understand? You think you got it? But the mind is a crazy thing.
You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, as tech ombudsman, how come we haven't discussed AI psychosis yet? Because some of the stories I've been seeing are wild.
Because it's not yet widespread. It's still
Dan is getting wild. Some of the stories I'm seeing are wild.
Are you surprised? I mean, think about how without AI, people already have general psychosis.
So like on once in a while when I log into TikTok, there's a TikTok of a few people they've got the hashtag, and then there's a few tech companies. These are successful large tech companies with substantial seed funding.
Mm-hmm.
And the founders all seem to have tech psychosis. So there's one guy who was complaining. He was like, "Yo, guys, our CEO wants us to run this complicated automation script that goes to ChatGPT, then Zoho, and then it's got some webhooks, and then Zapier." And we were like, this is a massive privacy and security risk. But he's not listening to us. He's not listening to the CSO. He's like, we have to do this. We are doing it. Whatever you guys want, we're doing it. Because Chetty said, do not speak.
You know, when this all comes crashing, this whole week I've just been seeing people describe this, like how the entire US economy is just hanging on this.
Yeah, it's a bad threat, but it's real.
And then what's his name? Nvidia CEO, whatever.
Jensen Huang.
Yeah, he came out and he says, "Nah, it's not a bubble." I was like, "Damn, they got to you too, bro."
Of course, they got to.
This man's got the most valuable company in the world.
Did you see that the Nvidia right now is performing all other Batman stocks, including Apple?
Yeah. Nvidia is 4-point-something trillion, isn't it? It's the only 4-point-something trillion, the only one that's crossed 4 trillion.
Yo, we should have bought Nvidia when we had the chance there.
And then the story, yeah, but don't buy now.
To the moon!
Don't buy now, guys.
To the moon!
Look, this is not a podcast that offers investment advice, but I mean, it might go up a little bit more, but
yeah. Marginal returns at best. Marginal.
What's going to happen when everything comes crashing down? Hey, the hootie. I'm going to an AI breakfast tomorrow, Phil.
Wait, who's hosting this now?
It's a local company called Ulendo. They brought in an AI expert from South Africa who's going to be speaking about it. His name's Winston Ritson.
So you're going to an AI breakfast, but you haven't read the AI policy. Psst, fraud.
I'm going to read it during the conversations. I'm gonna feed it into my AI models to give me a summary. Give me a summary, key points. Anyway, yeah. So we're cooked, guys. All the younger people are no longer following news from traditional news channels. Not that they were. Look, those had their problems, but at least there was some level of, structure. That's Wild West out there now. You can become a news source if you want. Just post some controversial takes.
Right. I need a woman's selfie to steal. Or I can just make one in ChatGPT.
Yeah, just make one. Yeah. What else is there to talk about? Oh yes, okay, Phil. Tell me about your boy Drake.
Drizzy.
In fact, let's make this a more broad conversation, Phil. Gambling is something that we've touched on in previous episodes, but this past week has been a lot of stories.
Yes. I think that's a great segue. It's a good segue.
Yeah.
So the state of Missouri is suing Drake and Aiden Ross and Stake US, basically purporting them to Missouri does not allow gambling; it's illegal there, and there's actually a number of states in America where gambling is not legal. But some of these platforms are circumventing these rules by registering in states like New Jersey or Nevada, and then offering to the territory, which it's a bit of a gray area. It's almost similar to
Now we can finally. Do you know? Can you hear the difference, Phil?
with what?
The microphone.
It sounds bad everywhere.
No, it sounds good now, but before you were covering the thing.
Oh yeah, because I was rapping. Yeah, so listen, guys. So I'm a rapper. So yeah, it's been murky, quite similar to I forgot what my train was on, but where people are skirting around. Weed. So similar to weed, like some states have legalized it, but federally it's not. So it's you're in a murky gray area where you can have cash, but you can't bank the cash as proceeds of weed. So it's very interesting. But anyway, Drake, for those of you who've been following, has been pushing Stake for quite some time. I think we've discussed it on the podcast once in a while. And even in our Patreon group, we discussed that there's no way he's gambling with his own money. Because according to the lawsuit, Drake has lost or bet over $60 million. And that's what he's posted on social media. That's an insane amount of money.
But what has he won?
I think the winnings were also equivalent to that. Aiden Ross has also done the same. As you also might know, Stake, which is the company that runs this, also then started a streaming platform called Kick because they were kicked off of Twitch because of promoting gambling. And they started Kick, which is like an anything goes streaming platform. So another thing that they were using to skirt around gambling and gaming laws in America is you technically were not gambling with real money. When you would log on, you would get two forms of cash. You'd get gold coins and Stake cash. The gold coins were equivalent to $1. And the gold coins were what you'd use to gamble, which is a very lazy way of trying to convert real money into fake money when it's the exact same exchange rate as real money.
Okay, what's the? I don't follow the NBA, but what's the whole story this past week?
No, let's finish the Drake.
Okay,
sorry. I know I was waffling.
No. I just want to go.
So
on.
essentially, the Drake story is Drake and Aiden Ross are the biggest names pushing Stake in America to residents of Missouri. The other thing that this lawsuit alleges is that Drake and Aiden Ross don't actually gamble with their money; they gamble with house money. So they are misleading people into thinking that they have opportunities to win money. And Stake has also gamified the gambling process with these daily double wins, where sometimes you can only get payouts if you bet a certain amount of times during a day, etc. So it highlights the insidious and gross nature of gambling, particularly to young boys. In fact, the lawsuit states that gambling has become an insidious way to trap young men. It's like a horoscope to men raised on Joe Rogan or something to that effect, which I found incredible. And they basically allege that Drake is the honeypot. They literally say that in the lawsuit.
That's mad.
They say that Drake is the honeypot to lure these young boys.
I want you guys to know that Phil is doing this on purpose.
But I'm quoting the lawsuit verbatim. So it's something that we've discussed multiple times here on the show. Something that people should be concerned about, which is gambling, especially how it's affecting young men. I was literally just having a conversation that randomly branched into this with someone who's in advertising in South Africa, who was also talking about how insidious gambling is in South Africa right now. And as the segue, it is funny though that Drake was suing Kendrick Lamar for deceptive business practices just a month ago, and now he's being sued by the state of Missouri for the very same thing, deceptive business practices. So we shall see how that court case goes. But what is definitely for sure is Drake's lawyers are paid, because not only have they been paid through this year-long lawsuit that Drake has filed against Universal Music, which was dismissed, but as of recording, Drake has just announced that he's appealing. So the lawyers are getting paid for a guaranteed 6 more months. They are also going to be in court because of this case. So if anything, if you want to make a bet on Drake's lawyers, because they are making bank. Now, onto the NBA. We've discussed about how insidious betting has become, especially in sports leagues. We have seen many a story, Dan. We'll get to the story in Turkey. I think a few weeks ago we discussed the story about how the Premier League had been infiltrated by gambling. This was even before gambling had grown to such levels. But gambling has always been legal in the UK. It's now more prevalent because it's stretched to America and then now Africa. Now, there've been a few stories about gambling in the NBA, but now last week we were hit with a big tomahawk missile, as it were, where Chauncey Billups, Hall of Fame player and current coach of the Portland Trailblazers, Scary Terry Rozier, currently playing with the Miami Heat, was traded there to the Miami Heat, and also Damon Williams, who's an assistant coach to Tyronn Lue.
Damon Jones,
sorry. Assistant coach to Tyronn Lue and close friend of LeBron James was also called up in a federal investigation in which they allege that, there's two separate allegations. So on one is you've got a run-of-the-mill mafioso story, which is Chauncey Billups was tied up with gangsters. The five mafia families of America. And they were hosting poker games. These poker games were rigged. And it was a very elaborate setup where these poker games had hacked shuffling machines. You'd wear glasses that had X-ray vision, literally, which would allow you to see what face cards were placed on the table. And there's testimony from people that were playing these games. The way Chauncey and his crew were playing made it evident that they knew what cards were coming.
So, as in they were playing?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Chauncey was not only what they call the whale or the bait, the honeypot, as it were, but he was also the player. So, to legitimize it, you've got rich people who want to play, because it's a great story. Like, hey guys, I played poker with an NBA All-Star, an NBA Hall of Fame. And you're like, yeah, we're just having a money game, and you're a rich person, so you're used to playing poker. You maybe throw 5, 10, 20,000, whatever it may be. But it adds up when you know that these people are definitely going to lose. So the mafia organizes these games. They have all the equipment in there, and they've got a string of devices. So not only do they have the shuffling machines, they've also got the cards that allow you to see what cards are being shown face down. They've also got communication devices with Apple Watches or foot tappers that will tap and let you know when to play, when not to play, what your likelihood of winning this hand is, etc., etc. So that's one allegation that was brought against Chauncey Billups and a bunch of other conspiracies. Keep in mind, by the way, Chauncey was only announced because he's the most famous of these people. There are obviously other individuals who are in business, who are in the crime, who would also be part of this, but they're not going to be announced because they're not going to make headlines. So that's one issue. Then another issue is essentially point shaving, which is what Scary Terry and also Chauncey Billups was accused of, even though they didn't name him, but they described him to T. They stopped short of giving his ID number. And in this story, Terry Rozier was accused of point shaving. And they've got stories and they've got testimonies of them or Terry Rozier exiting a game early. And then another gambling individual who was actually just outed by Pablo Torre today would then place these massive bets. So there was massive bets placed on the under for Terry Rozier. Keeping in mind, I'm okay, you don't really watch sports. Do you know what the under is?
What do you mean I don't watch sports? I do watch sports.
American
I just don't
sports.
Yeah.
American sports. Do you know, is the under something that's common in like football?
No, it's not. It's not. But I believe it is the expectation of scoring less than a certain amount.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's prop bets and then you've got the over and the under. So this could be How many minutes is Dan going to play? How many points is Dan going to score? How many rebounds? It could also be something as arbitrary as how many times is Dan going to scratch his nose? Literally. Some of these prop bets do exist. So something like that. And then Terry had the under on time in game. So he hit the under on that. And there was a massive move, which was a concern and obviously noticed and reported by the betting companies because Terry Rozier is not an A-list player. So when you have betting lines, a lot of bets aren't going to be placed on the B and C tier players because they aren't what attracts the average bettor. It's going to be the prop bets on the A stars, the Stephen Currys, the LeBron Jameses, the Kevin Durant's of the world. And one of the things that Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, has been advocating for is we need to legalize betting so that we can make it more transparent and catch people that are trying to manipulate the system. Granted, I think they've gone too far. But because they've legalized betting, the betting companies were able to catch this and they reported it, which is how the government picked it up and started investigating, which is fascinating. So now we've got a court case where Terry Rozier has been caught pretty much dead to rights. There's even a testimony of them divvying up the winnings from his under and then them going to his house and giving him the cash. I don't know why they were moving so brazenly, but there you go. So now they've been suspended, and as of today, it was just announced that they will not be paid. Well, granted, they'll be paid into escrow, but pending the results of this investigation, they may have to forfeit their salaries. And this isn't the first NBA player to be caught out. This is now, I think, the third major scandal in a year, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. And it highlights the pervasiveness of betting, and it also falls in line with what's happening in Turkey, where I believe a 5-year investigation found that it was 53 referees.
It was the majority of them.
So
it was 100 and something out of something.
Basically, all the referees in Turkey were taking money.
Yeah,
which is incredible. But Dan, you raised a very good point, which we've been discussing for quite some time. Is you can't be mad at the results of what you're doing here. Which is, yes, you've legitimized gambling, and it's easier to track when illicit bets are being made. Fair and fine. But also, you've now allowed betting companies to be your official partners. Their logos are all over your program, all over your product, all over your jerseys. You've got their players, current active players, like LeBron James, advertising, betting companies.
They're on your jerseys. They're all over the grounds. It's every break in like American sports. It's even worse. But even in the Premier League, especially if you watch like coverage on CBS, at halftime they will let you know what are the current odds, what bets can you take, what do you expect. Like,
yeah. The wild part is like even the broadcasters now have their own betting products. So I think we discussed it. We actually did discuss it on the podcast. There was one of the reasons why Pat McAfee got purchased by ESPN was because he was also sponsored and he was part owner of a betting company that owned the rights to the Pat McAfee show. And that acquisition allowed ESPN to form ESPN Bet. So the great irony is ESPN Bet are on the Chiron running ads while they're discussing the betting scandal. And halfway through the story, the producer realizes, hey, wait, this might not be a good look. And you just see the Chiron disappear on live TV.
The story from Turkey, 371 of its 571 professional referees were found to have betting accounts. So of those, 152 were actively gambling. So others, they just had accounts.
This is wild.
So so obviously this goes without saying. How can I referee a match when I've placed a bet on the outcome of that match?
Now you're affecting my over under here.
Yeah. So yeah. Now this is how it's going to get even worse, Phil. It's something that you hinted at. I think you hinted at, or maybe we spoke about it briefly on a previous episode. But the tech world is going goo goo gaga over two companies, Phil. One is called Polymarket.
Yep.
The other one's called Kalshi. These two companies have been funded to the tune of billions of dollars. They've got crazy funding, and what they do is called predictive markets. Predictive markets is essentially you can bet on anything.
Literally anything.
You can bet on if I don't know if
What color tie is the president going to wear today?
yes, is McDonald's going to open a new store in a particular place? That's probably not going to have that many people on it. But the point is, every single thing is potentially going to be available for betting. They do a slightly different method of betting where you essentially buy shares into the final outcome of a particular thing, and you can. So a lot of proponents of predictive markets say that it's a great way to be able to see how things are turning out. So, for example, will Donald Trump announce that he's going to try run for a third term? Right? We know it's unconstitutional, but you can see from the predictive markets how many people have bought into the yes or no. So you can sort of gauge, okay, like several million people. Right now it's at 60% or 70%. You can sort of gauge what does the general country think or the world think. In a similar way, right now, announcements will come out and say like Arsenal are favorites to win the Premier League. It's not because of any stats, it's because of betting. That's how they can tell right now. In terms of the bookmakers, they're the faves at the moment. So they say that, wow, this will open up so many possibilities. But when I read up about predictive markets, I was like, we are cooked. We are cooked.
Sauteed.
If you think sports betting is bad, just imagine every single thing all the time. You can just create a sort of predictive market around everything. And then there's people who are going to be trying to manipulate the outcome of that market. The NHL, the National Hockey League, have announced that they are partnering with these companies. I believe it's with Polymarket. In fact, both of them. They've signed multi-year deals with both Kalshi and Polymarket.
So now I can bet when a fight is going to break out.
Trump Media has launched its own predictive market. It's called Truth Predict. Polymarket is valued at 12 to 15 billion. Kalshi 10 billion. Oh man, this is insane. It's insane. They haven't even really started.
Isn't Polymarket still private?
Yes. Well, Polymarket is seeking a new funding round that would value it at 12 to 15. Kalshi as well is also looking for offers that value it at around that much. And this is a little bit of a tangent, but it's a thought that I had this week. I was reading up. I think it's one of the co-founders of Kalshi is some lady. She's got some crazy story about being a genius and going through tough situation and coming out on top and and it's like it's viewed as a success story in business because damn, she went through all this and through sheer grit and determination, she's launched this market and and now she's a billionaire. And someone was commenting like, wow, that's crazy. Imagine being this talented, this smart, this driven, and you're using it to create a gambling platform. And it started making me think like, traditionally, we always knew that the smartest people in the world, the freaks, you know what I mean? Like this person is extremely smart. That person normally would end up working at maybe for a government, maybe for some company, but doing some crazy research. Now, all the smartest people in the world are either working for Facebook, Amazon,
Batman,
OpenAI, or they're getting into these crypto
extraction industries, basically. Extraction industries.
All progress right now is in OpenAI, social media, trying to grab people's attention, crypto. Now, predictive markets is the next big thing that everyone is jumping on. So, I don't know, man. We are so cooked. Yeah. Then again, maybe we're just two old men yelling at clouds. Everything will be fine. We're just worried at the change of the world.
No. I don't. I think things eventually will be fine. But if history has taught us anything, and funny enough, Slick Pasta had a very insightful skit about this. Did you see it?
I did 10-minute, like a 10-minute video where he was a teacher and he was talking about the World War, the trigger for World War II.
So it was literally
World War I.
He was just going through the Sarajevo incident, Archduke Ferdinand's attempted assassination and his ultimate assassination, and how that triggered World War I. And he just says history repeats itself because even though this happened in Europe, all these countries had interest in Africa and it affected Africa as well. That's why it was World War. All that being said, this can't continue because people are suffering. People are dying, especially people in the richest nation in the world. As I don't remember if we're recording or not, but yeah, the American economy, by most respected reporting, is currently being held up by all the expenditure being done by these AI and IT companies, particularly those in the Batman, right? And once that expenditure slows, it's going to cause a ripple effect that's going to crash the economy. And when that happens, people are going to go broke. Well, people already are broke because you've got things like Klarna. And I don't know if you saw this, Dan, but Klarna now allows you to get your DoorDash orders on credit. It's not a great sign about your economy when people are ordering pizzas and burgers on layaway.
Wasn't the big news this week about? I mean, Amazon announced they're getting rid of 30,000 jobs, and then like a bunch of other companies were announcing, yeah, we're laying off 10,000 people.
And that's gonna trigger it. I was reading a very interesting article about what they call like inciting event that changes the economy, and these ripple effects that lead to big things, and everything that you just mentioned was mentioned, like when people start losing jobs and companies start laying off. And the problem with that is there's no way to recover. Like once the die is cast, systems and economies cannot recover until there's massive wholesale change. And everything is pointing to that. So buckle up, buckos. If I were you guys, get out of gold, get out of speculative markets, I would say. Oh, God, this is not financial advice. This is just the opinion of Edinburgh, idiot. Get out of the speculative market and, buy lots of tuna, buy lots of drinking water.
There's people who've made money in the speculative market and they might be still time for it.
Dad, when this all falls apart, money will mean nothing. Check out Kosha.
I don't think it's that bad, Phil. Listen, if you're looking for the over-under on the predictive market of where we're going this is what I think is going to happen. I think that economically, there will be a big crash. Similar to the dot-com bubble, but probably even worse. I think a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. I think there will be a resurgence in a lot of, I don't know what the correct term is for them, but like, more regular, normal, menial jobs. Plumbers, electricians, gardeners, farmers, whatever the case is. Tradesmen, yes. A lot of those trade jobs, I think there will be a huge resurgence in those. I think there will be a period of political upheaval, especially as you can see, like as things get tougher, people get more concerned about things like immigration and then, certain strongmen become leaders. There will be a period of political upheaval in different countries. But I think ultimately what's going to happen is struggle financially, economically, and a somewhat, I can't even call it return to normalcy, but let me say a return to the world of Dune, where computers shall be dead. No. What I'm trying to say is I don't think it will necessarily be the post-apocalyptic Mad Max world that Phil is painting.
I'm not saying it's going to be
Mad
Max.
It's going to be rough.
I'm going to say it's going to be Zimbabwe 2008. But on a global scale. And that's when we will rise. We will rise because we've done this before. We are skilled.
Zimbabweans will be the biggest country in the world. We will be half the world, actually. Above a first world. But yeah. Keep an eye on predictive markets, guys. I think that's just crazy. I can't believe betting is so insane right now. Imagine if you're addicted to gambling. You're no longer waiting for the match on the weekend.
Yeah, you're doing anything and everything.
The story is like right now there's certain sporting events that have been created just for gambling, right? Just so for regular it's a 5-a-side match of hockey or something, and then people are placing bets just because we can't wait until the weekend for the match or whatever. Predictive markets, every single thing, all the time, whatever you're watching. And as these things have billions of dollars, they're going to be buying ads everywhere. Place a bet on this, place a bet on this. This is the under over. This is da-da-da-da-da. You could make $100 if you put in $5 right now. If this happens,
and get bonus cash with your $88.
Now imagine real-time dashboards that provide actionable insights into critical business functions. No, real-time dashboards. Imagine the president is giving the state of the nation, and he's got a dashboard on his phone that alerts him that right now there's a potential $100 million payout.
If your speech is 5 minutes.
Yes.
I am speaking faster.
Guys, we are cooked. We're cooked.
Cooked.
Anyway, let's move on. Phil, let's not spend too much time dwelling on sad things. These are not even sad. They're exciting. They're interesting. What else can we talk about? Oh my goodness, where are my notes? Here we go. Interesting thing that I threw into the group that I thought to briefly mention. One of these chart accounts said, for the first time in 35 years, not a single rap song appears in the Billboard Hot 100 this week. First time since the first rap song appeared 35 years ago. Mad, don't you think?
I think, yeah, it's very interesting. Hip hop is having an interesting time in America and on the charts. Because pre Drake, Kendrick, labels were deprioritizing hip hop.
Yep.
And similar trends were happening, but granted, this was more so of rap not appearing in the top 10, top 5, etc. Then Drake and Kendrick happened, and then this boon occurred, and then hip hop seemed to be on a resurgence again, and now it's on another decline. And I think part of it is because of AI.
AI music.
But also, it means that record labels aren't going to invest in artists, right? And I would assume, conspiracy brain, and full hack theory here, black and artists of color, as they say, would be the first to be affected. And this is not even a lie. I've said it on the podcast before. I always felt K-pop was like the robotic version of black music. Because K-pop sounds like AI hip-hop, you know? I think I was phase 1.
You're my soda pop. You're my soda pop.
It really sounds like sanitized. It's like make black music but not hip, you know? Just
okay. I'm not gonna say I don't see what you're saying. I do think that there's black culture that has been adopted by K-pop culture, but I wouldn't say the music specifically.
Well, yeah, there's elements of how they represent themselves, how they dress.
So yeah, and from a cultural perspective, I can see what you're saying.
Think about let me put it this way, right? Think of any K-pop band with more than 4 members.
Phil,
don't all of them have a rapper? Think about it. Don't all of them have a rapper?
Yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah, yeah. I can see that. I can see that. Anyway, so I thought that was just an interesting thing worth mentioning. I don't know if it's also an indication of the general political climate around the world, because as we all know, young people are the ones who consume music the most on these streaming platforms. All reports seem to indicate that there's a certain populist movement, especially in places like America and Europe. There's almost toxically patriotic move towards traditional white values, air quotes, that is happening in young populations. And when it was mainstream cool to listen to rappers, the white girls were listening to rap music. Now that there's this death of woke, whatever, which realistically, I mean, it's PR, but in the most impressionable minds, I think it might have an effect.
So there's 2 things I want to touch on there. I don't think you're necessarily wrong, but I think your thought is a little skewed. So I think let me start with the last point, and then I'll move to the first one. Is youth always rebels?
Mm-hmm.
So because you and I are now becoming the older generation, the generation after us, just by virtue of that, aren't going to like what we like because they don't want that. They want to rebel against it. And this is why,
that's kind of it's partly what I'm describing as well. Yeah.
And in black music, we're seeing it now because the new generation of quote unquote rappers, the A-tier next generation rappers, aren't actually rappers.
Mm.
They're rock stars. Think of Lil Uzi Vert, Playboy Cardi, Travis Scott. If we're looking at this objectively, they make more rock leaning stuff, and culturally they're more rock than they are rap.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're black, they're bunched in with hip hop. So that's also affecting the sounds and tones that people listen to. You know what I mean? What genres they gravitate towards. So traditional hip hop is already falling off. And the artists that we like are falling off. And now, if you look at the artists that actually dominate the charts, I think the last stat was there are no acts that have stayed on the chart for more than 4 weeks outside of Doechii, I believe, and Chapel Roan and Doja Cat that debuted after 2015. But also particularly in black music. Like the mainstay acts are all acts that rose to fame before the streaming age. So your Drakes, your Lady Gagas, your Adeles, your Kendricks, etc. They just got in just before the streaming age, which was the last real age of the superstar, the musical superstar. That is, that's one. Two is black hip hop has always been systematically underreported deliberately by the systems. So, for example, in the early 90s, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry.
In the early 90s, for example, do you know how SoundScan used to work then?
No.
So what used to happen is the guys at SoundScan and Billboard would randomly pick record stores, or they'd have a list of record stores, and they'd phone them, and they're like, "Hey Dan, what albums are selling the most in your record store?" And Dan would then say, "Oh, Phil's album is selling," with no need to submit reports, nothing. It's just that if I liked Phil, I was going to say Phil is selling so that Phil could rise up the charts. So that's how it used to go. And then when they switched from that to real-time point-of-sale tracking, guess what album started over-indexing above everything else? So rap would never chart. Then all of a sudden, when they switched to real-time tracking around the time NWA and them came out in the early 90s, hip-hop all of a sudden started charting miraculously. But record execs were like, actually, the sales haven't increased that much. The sales started increasing because the chart position is increasing. It's because now, in reality, it was being tracked. The same thing happened almost a decade ago when streaming started. Before, it used to be the same 1.5 streams would equals one sale on YouTube, so on paid platforms and on free platforms. And guess what happened then? Hip-hop started over-indexing and wiping the floor with everyone because hip-hop was more popular. And you know what they did? They came back and they changed the rules and actually, we're going to count paid streams more than free streams, and then a CD is going to count 10 times more than a stream. And then black music started becoming under-indexed again.
I wonder, so I'm still on that. When you said earlier, you were talking about the whole concept of rebelling. I think that sort of somewhat says the same thing. I hate getting this conversation because it feels like I'm agreeing with the groups of population that I don't agree with. But this whole concept of, it's not the right meaning of the word, the whole woke concept, but the idea of, hey, we're trying to show a bit more diversity. We're including a lot more diverse cultures. Main hip hop and black culture has become mainstream in media. Then aligned to that, intersectionalizing with that, Philip, was integrating other diverse sort of groups like the Liggabadiggers. And so general pop culture and media seemed to be moving away from what it had been in previous generations, which was this vanilla white, the white guy and the white this and if there was any reference to any other cultures, it was always as others. Then now it seemed like mainstream media, the biggest movie actor in the world was black. The biggest artists in the world were black. The biggest cultural phenomena, everything was black. And a lot of charismatic people hopped onto that and started introducing crazy ideas like replacement theory and so on. And I feel like those kind of things just started getting into people's heads. especially young, impressionable people. We've spoken in previous episodes about air quotes groypers, who have completely even more radical views about just messing up the existing establishment. But like even if someone is not that radical or extreme, if you are hearing the Andrew Tates of the world and so on, who are repeating this racist rhetoric and so on, and then you look at your mainstream media and a lot of it is black, and then you look around like, oh damn, like black seems to be getting celebrated more than white, and that's not cool because white is better, and these things keep on getting repeated in your head. I can see, rebelliousness or rebellion being against that. And then now you have these people that are followers of, these the incels and the red pill thinking and all of that, which has always existed. It's just seeming a lot more mainstream at the moment. Then there's another element to it. In the search for attention, many people have obviously learned that the best way to get attention is to say something that is controversial, to put it mildly. It means a lot of the biggest, most influential people in the world are saying the messages that they're putting out there is what would previously have been cancelable. It continues this like echo chamber and continual conversation about, look, the black people are doing it again. Look at look at these minorities. Look at these. Like it just continues. It's a continual message. It's over and over and over and over and over and over. And impressionable people, I feel like it's not the sole cause, obviously, of these things. I think there's also something to be said about what you mentioned about the idea of musical superstars being ideally pre-streaming. The general dilution, I think, of black music anyway. But also, I think, global sort of political perspectives of people. And Taylor Swift. The single biggest influencing factor on the death of hip-hop. Yo, I've never come across someone whose music is so mediocre but has become such a huge phenomenon. It's insane.
Then give me a guitar chord. Give me a guitar chord. Give me some strings.
I mean,
I thought you were going to do them with your mouth. Now you're making it really long.
Okay.
I liked him. He liked me too. But he worked at a diner. And I had a blue shoe.
Don't get me wrong. There's room and place for white girl music. You know what I'm saying?
No, good white girl. No, there's some white girls that make good music. Taylor's not one of them.
Phil,
Taylor used to make some bangers.
I'm just saying, have you ever been by yourself in the car, doing a long drive, then you put on some bop, doom bop bop doom wop, or you put on some taking a walk downtown, walking fast, faces passing, I'm home now.
Well, your first example was Three Men, and the second example was actually a great song. Doesn't count.
It sounds like
Black.
My point is, there's room for good white girl music. It's just, I don't. Yes. Don't get me wrong. I work at a radio station. She does have some catchy hooks, right?
His shoes were blue and I wanted to say hi, how are you? And my name is Tay-Tay. What do you say?
Are never, ever, ever getting
Back together.
Cool. That's kind of catchy. It's not like the most catchy thing you've ever heard, but you hear it a couple of times, it becomes an earworm, gets stuck in your head. But like, every time I listen to a lot of pop music, not because I enjoy it, but because I work at a radio station, and I'm always just like, this is so mediocre. It's like it's not bad. It's not like terribly made or bad singer or anything like that. It's just bleh. It's just like, it's like middle of the road. It's like Taylor Swift makes music for people who think vanilla ice cream is spicy. Taylor Swift makes music for people who order margarita pizza, not in Italy. Like, it's just plain. It's like eating rice. I hate rice, but like, anyway. Okay, Philip, let's wrap things up a little bit. I'm told that the Madame's latest video is going to be I'm cooking for 2 Broke Twimbos.
Have we been cooked for? Have we eaten it?
Well, that's we have to. It has been cooked.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
So ultimately, I don't have the full breakdown. I'll look at some Illuminate reports just to see.
Oh, that's what I was trying to find. I was trying to see because this was just a single account that reported this, and I thought it was interesting. But I wanted to see if I can get more details.
Yeah, I'll look at the Illuminate. I need to log in from my laptop into my Illuminate account. But I do worry for black art, and this is why I've been so annoyed with Timbaland. Timbaland really has let me down.
So, okay, tell me why you were saying like AI is the cause of this. I didn't get that.
So, black art is being devalued. So we've seen it's well, granted, all art is being devalued, but because black people are not too high on the totem pole, they're the first to be affected. So, because there's been an active divestment, granted they still do invest quite a bit, but record labels aren't investing as much in development and A&R as they used to. The A&R has now become very analytical. So instead of gut feeling, granted some of it was also like an error, because an old school A&R was just like, this artist got it. Like, how do you know? I just know. It's just
something
feeling
about him. I can see it in his
I just
eyes.
have a feeling. You know what I mean? And they might not really have a fan base. They might not be able to make music, but that was just the feeling. Now it's more so if you build the momentum, you get hot, and then we'll sign you up. And now it's becoming incredibly robotic, where the use and the need for the artist and repertoire, the A&R, is less and less, because Chartmetric can do it for me. I just need to know who's bubbling under, who's got the Instagram followers, who's got the streams, and sign them. That's what's been going on lately. And because of that, the other hectic thing or the annoying thing with art is you've got to then figure out how to sell this person to an audience, but also how to deal with them, because they're human beings, they're creatives, they're crazy. Artists are crazy sometimes, and they're difficult to deal with. So wouldn't it be easier to deal with something that's very predictable? Like, especially something that doesn't need to sleep, something that doesn't need to eat, something that doesn't need to call their girlfriend, someone who doesn't have all these issues, but can deliver hits on demand.
Sorry, just a quick. I can't remember how I said it, but there are no rap songs in the top 40 of the Billboard Hot 100, not the entire Billboard Hot 100. Yeah. I can't remember if I said that correctly.
In the top 40, yeah.
There was the highest rap song is Big X the Plug at 49.
And BX the Plug is actually, that's something I want to touch on. Big X the Plug is basically making country music now, and we've seen country music become more hip hop. We've seen pop music become more hip hop. Like, listen
50
to,
actually, but yeah.
Listen to Morgan Wallen. There's 808s in that stuff.
No thanks. Thanks, but no thanks.
So it's also becoming like the cross-pollination, is that the word? The homogenization of genres, where
intersectionality,
the praxis, where a lot of things are sounding the same. So I think there's a lot of confluenting stuff, confluenting.
Anyway, it's an interesting note on trends. It's just this 1 week. Let's see how things continue. Is this the end of rap music as a mainstream genre? I also think there's going to be, also partly what you're saying, it's going to be much harder to classify music going forward. Everything is going to be mixed and jumbled up. Is this rap / country / metal? What? Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to discuss. Did you see Cameron is suing J. Cole?
I did see that. I also thought it was like y'all couldn't have called each other over this, or
what are your thoughts? Actually, I wanted to hear your thoughts on this.
So if I understand correctly, just to tell the story, Cameron is saying he appeared on J. Cole's song and
Ready 24.
Ready 24 and
opening song of Might Delete Later.
And he didn't charge for it. There was just a gentleman's agreement that J. Cole would in turn appear on Cameron's music and also on his podcast. And since then, Cameron's been trying to call him and hit him up and how far, hey, you're supposed to come on my song, and that didn't happen, etc. So just to catch everyone up. So, first of all, I think that's obviously super common in music. Hey, man, I'll be on your song, you be on mine, da-da-da.
There's a caveat, which is Cameron says he hasn't received his publishing royalties from the song he did appear on J. Cole's. So he's also suing for that because he hasn't received his publishing royalties.
But that wouldn't be from J. Cole, would it? That would be from the label?
The label is also named in the suit. But also the administrator is J. Cole because J. Cole owns this label.
Okay. All right. So, I don't know. Okay. In terms of the royalties and so on, I don't know. It depends on whatever contracts they signed and agreements they had, right? On the whole thing of he said he was going to come on my podcast. I mean, he did promise, but
so, and I think Dan has touched on exactly why I asked this question because people have differing views because it's about reframing. This is first and foremost, this is very different to Drake and Kendrick or Drake suing Universal because this, by definition, is a breach of contract. And I am very proud of Cameron.
But this was a verbal contract.
It's a contract nonetheless.
A handshake contract.
And you've got actionable insight and you've got evidence
There's a dashboard with actionable insights that provide insights into critical business functions.
You've got the quid, but there's no pro quo.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go and say, listen, judge, there's the quid. Where's my pro quo?
Fair.
Yeah, the text proving the lack of pro quo.
So now what's going to happen? The judge is going to say you have to appear on Cameron's podcast.
No, he's not. Cameron is he's also saying, not only did you waste my time, I think this is more so, you wasted my time. Now you're going to think, but so you're going to go to say, Ndurama publishing royalties. So publish the results so that I figure out how much is owed. And ultimately, this is why I'm proud of Cameron. Do you know how many rappers we've lost to this? As you said, Dan, this is very common. And before, this would be the initiation of a beef. And at most, at the lightest, it would be a beef where shots are thrown back and forth on a song. At worst, bullets will be thrown back and forth on a song. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Cameron Giles' history, but it is colorful. He also has some stuff that went down in Indiana. If you want to Google it. Mace's first name, as in the first rapper name he ever adopted, was Murder Mace. And that was for a reason. And Cameron and Mace were best buds. All I'll say is, for Cameron to go from what he used to be to solving his disputes in court, I am like, wow, look at growth. Look at growth.
Well done, I guess. Here's what I think. I think, again, without really knowing all the details, I find it improbable that J. Cole refused. What happened is apparently he just kept on saying he was busy.
Which is, Dan, that is an industry handoff.
Now,
let's not forget, Dan, remember there was a time J. Cole went on a run where he did like 40 features in a year.
Mm-hmm. He could have just easily dropped one for camp.
So imagine being Cameron, and you know this, blaz. Not only that, J. Cole has stayed being praising Cameron. So you're like, when you want to talk about me, when it costs you nothing, hey, it's amazing. When it actually comes time to put rubber to the road and just come to the studio, hey, I'm busy. Hey, I'm doing this. Hey, I'm doing that.
You got to hear both sides, man. That's all I'm saying. You got to hear both sides. I'm telling you, J. Cole's going to come out and be like, bro, I hit him up and I said I can come on this day, and this day.
Well, Cameron actually put that in the suit. He said that he had 2 songs, well, I think it was 2 or 3 songs, where he had an open verse for J. Cole. He sent them to J. Cole. J. Cole responded and said, Iowa, I want us to do it organically. Let's make songs from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
So Cameron's like, I bet. And every time he tried to lock in the time in the studio, J. Cole was mysteriously busy. Same thing happened with the podcast. Now I'm like, now you're taking me for idiot.
All I know is J. Cole wasn't the right. No, I'm just kidding. I don't
keep
know.
in mind, during this whole period, post might delete later, all that. Granted, it was a little hot for J. Cole. It was a little hot. But also, if I'm Cameron, I'm seeing him on Lil Yachty's podcast and all this, and I'm like, Saka, you can go on Lil Yachty's podcast, but not mine. Oh.
Okay, Phil, let's go and eat some food. We shall appear on Tasman Dube's Instagram. Follow now. Find 2 Broke Twimbos being cooked for.
Yes. So yeah, thank you guys. So first and foremost, apologies for missing the last 2 weeks. It's been incredibly busy. I've never been so busy, but I'm so happy. Work getting done. Shout out to everyone who's come through to the festival, the play festival, the African Voices
that
Now
was very
Festival.
good, actually.
We've got 3 amazing plays by 3 amazing writers, directors, the cast. It's been incredible. I've really, really enjoyed it. Please continue to support. I've had so many podcast listeners that have come through and sold out shows. But if you are a patron, hit me up. Free tickets for you. Dan and the wifey were there last week Friday. Dan, why don't you give us a review? How was your experience?
I went to go watch These Humans Are Sick. I forgot the name of the writer. But
Tatenda Mkambizi.
Shout out to Tatenda. But starring Michael Kudakwashe, Tinevimbo Chimbetete, and the lady who did a great job playing...
Orudo, yeah.
Yeah. Look, no, I very much enjoy it. You know what? There's a gauge for how good some piece of art is that I always use, which is there's a way that we always appreciate something that's done by a countryman or someone in Zimbabwe. So we always say, "Oh, you did well," because in our mind it's like a fellow countryman who did it. But in the back of my mind, we also think like, what I mean, it's not like Hamilton or anything, But you did well. I mean, you did a good job. You must keep at it. I would put this at we had an amazing. It was engaging, entertaining. The acting performances were so good. The set was amazing. The timing was great. It was funny. It was thought provoking. Really enjoyed it. So highly recommend These Humans Are Sick. I haven't watched. I believe we're going to watch Can We Talk next.
Can we talk?
I look forward to that. But yeah, shout out to everyone involved in putting that together.
Oh, thanks, Dan. Also, what if I told you that the producer of Hamilton actually came and worked on these plays?
That would explain a lot of things.
Yep. The
production was tight. It was.
Oh, Dan, do you know who's coming next month as part of Almasi's programming? Granted, I'm now just thinking. You remember that 5-piece documentary on O.J. Simpson that you refused to watch? That eventually you did watch. I think you watched like 1 or 2 parts and then you stopped. He won an Oscar for it. Ezra Edelman. He's coming next month.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Is he coming to actually produce something or to like?
He's coming for the conference. So there's going to be a new crop of plays that are going to be submitted and written, and then they're going to be punched up. So it's going to be like a conference where people get to review, punch up their work, and then the next steps.
Shout out to Danai, man. Really actually propping up, like pulling it by the skin of your teeth. Let's go. That's the wrong.
She's skin of your teeth pulling.
Yeah,
okay,
that's the wrong.
Pulling the bull by the horns is what I think you meant.
No, like turning the tanker that's refusing to. It's like I'm going to turn it. You know what I'm saying? Because Zim is tough, man. Zim is tough for creatives.
It is
creatives and the arts in general.
And seeing like how people are making this work, because like keep in mind, right? Obviously, there's financial struggles, there's time struggles, there's everything else, but there's also just the time, the work, because you're doing a year of play development, you're doing rehearsals, you're doing the performances, you got to pitch up every day. It's hard work, and the guys are coming through. I'm really excited, man. This is dope. It's really dope to see.
Share ups. All right, listen, let's take advantage of this time to say thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to another episode.
Yes.
We will endeavor to continue with some level of consistency for you, so please stick around. If you're having a problem with your Patreon, fear not.
They'll have no problem because it won't be charging them, so they'll be very happy right now.
I mean, if you are trying to connect, but it will be fixed.
It's
by
fine.
the time you hear this,
go
it'll
to
be fixed.
broketwimbos.com/donate. Don't go to Patreon, just pay us directly. And you on the website, you'll see a dashboard with actionable insights and business intelligence.
Critical business insights that executives can use to make decisions, and you know how it is. We are just cooked as a society, man. All right, boys and girls, we'll catch you in the next one. Please drop a like, subscribe, do all the things that help us to get this podcast discoverable. And if you are on a flight somewhere, please share it with your colleagues as the others have been doing. We'll catch you in the next episode, and we out.